Hi everyone. So this little challenge now will be, these are the scores of Czerny I have. So these are 6 books and I have one of my iPad and I will try to sight read all these Czerny etudes and see what's happening, see what does it bring me. Does I get better in such a short time in sight reading? Is my technique improving? I will take a piece that I will try to sight read in the beginning of the challenge and at the end of the challenge and see if I see a difference. And also I will try to play a piece and play the same piece at the end to see if my technique just improved. So on my iPad I have this Opus 636, which is the called for sure La Petite Vélocité in French. It's one I played when I was a kid. Some students play this. That's the beginner book on 5 fingers, quite easy. That's for the left hand. This one I'm not sure what it is. This is like the very famous Art of Dexterity, played by many people. They are quite difficult, this one. That's a bit lower level. This is used very often too. And I think these are just main kind of exercise. Yeah, it's kind of short exercise in form of etudes. And this one is what again? Yeah, these are etudes I actually don't really know, never heard. Looks quite difficult, looks quite exercisey too. I'm not sure how much time I will need to do all this stuff. I mean, this can be fast, this will be super fast. This needs some hours. Yeah, the rest I don't know, let's see. So I will start with these 5 fingers just to warm up a bit because that's really easy and this I can sight read in a very short time. And then I will do the Opus 636. By the way, there are much more stuff Czerny wrote. It's incredible how many etudes he wrote, and he even wrote like other pieces like sonatas and everything. And I will play it on this piano, so maybe some people saw it already. It's a new piano I have. A student gave me this piano. I had a quick cleaning. I tuned it. I polished the hammers a bit. I sanded the hammers a bit. I vacuumed inside. There was like black missing. I started to add some French polish black one to make it look clean, and actually it's a nice piano. There are like some cracks in the soundboard, and the mechanic actually is quite good. Maybe needs some regulation. So I will play on this one because it's a new piano in the piano salon. I'm selling it now actually. I'm selling this one too, and just to play this piano a bit and have a feeling. I really like the sound of this piano. So let's start with easy Czerny. So there are also some problems with the sound still with this piano. So I will also time this, so here's my week. I have 0, I will start practicing, I will add Czerny. That long. So the piece I thought about sight reading and testing is Barcarolle of Chopin. It's a piece I never practiced. I have sight read it once or twice, and I think it's one of the very difficult pieces to sight read. It has like 6 sharps. It's a 12/8. It's very complex music. Let's see how it goes. So 6 sharps, everything is sharp, fa, sol, re, la, mi, except B. And then the piece I will play, it's a piece I didn't practice since a very long time. It's like, say, I thought about Chopin Etude number 12. let's see if I get better after all the Czerny etudes at playing this etude. It should actually be, normally, I should be much fitter. I feel my left hand is really a bit sleepy. I don't feel the power. I feel I need to go slow to make it clear, and I'm curious how it will be at the end. So I just finished actually the 5 fingers, the Opus 777, and I will do actually my app. That's by the way my app. You can download it in the description. So I will time every opus I'm doing to have an idea of how much I needed for everyone. So this was super easy, of course, to play because it's for beginners, and I have a lot of students playing them, so I know them by heart. My favorite actually is this one. I think one is sounding very close to Mozart a bit. Sounding very much like this. So by the way, about Czerny, I know it can be a traumatic thing for many people. Many people don't like. So I will have again, like Hanon, I will have a lot of comments of people say it's useless. My experience as a kid is I did this as a very young kid. As when I was 5, I did some months of piano, and I did the first one of this one. I actually liked it. My father pushed me a bit to do this, and then when I started again later, when I was 12. A bit later, my father suggested to my teacher to do the art of dexterity, to do some etudes of this, because he thought it's a great formation to get this in. As a young pianist, you should do this, and Liszt did it. So, and also Czerny is the teacher of Liszt, right? It's very important. It's also the student of Beethoven. It's a quite important person in music history. He wrote tons of etudes, so he was a dedicated pedagogue, has a lot of students, very important students. He was the most important teacher in Vienna at his time. And I find his etude really fun, actually. They're very clever. They make you learn a lot of harmony tricks, typical cadences. They cover a lot of difficulties in a fun way, in a musical way. It make you think a lot about fingerings, about articulations, etc. And my father had this idea I should play all these etudes, and I kind of didn't really like Czerny at that time either. And he found a way to motivate me. Is his twin brother was also playing piano. They both were playing pianos on a good level, and his twin brother recorded the art of dexterity on the e-piano very slow, and then accelerated them to have it on the right speed. And we were listening this on cassettes in the car, I remember. And this way, by listening these etudes a lot, I really start to like them much more, because it's like always when you don't know the music, you are a bit against, and then once you, of course, it's technically you have to practice, and it's not the most attractive and beautiful music, but it's not meant to this also. It's not like concert pieces, of course. It's like study pieces, etudes, right? So the next volume I will do is, I think the next easiest in the set is Opus 636, called Preliminary School of Finger Dexterity. I had this book, and in French it was called La Petite Vélocité. So this one I played also when I was a kid, I think. I don't remember. So Opus 636, very nice beginning etude. Then one etude my father played very often, I played as a kid one too, and a super fun etude, and we both had this fun of trying to play it as fast as possible, is this one. Of course, trying to be musical as much as possible. So I will finish this book and see how much time this took. So I just finished Opus 636. It took me 27 minutes, and they started to be really nice. There are really nice etudes there. I mean, the first one already, but then there is one, for example, quite famous. I think after the 17 is a nice one too, actually, this one. The number 10 is also nice. Actually, after a while, you start to be able to predict Czerny's harmony, and they're always very sweet and gentle. And I mean, these are the easy etudes. So yeah, we'll make a break and then see what book I do next. So I had lunch, made some break. I slept 10 minutes because I didn't have so much sleep because of my son this night. Actually, I found out, I think the next book will be this one. So that's Opus 299, School of Velocity. I think that's the next easiest. That's probably possible to read fast. Then I will do the left hand, then I will do the Art of Dexterity. That's probably the biggest one that needs a long. And then actually the School of Virtuosity, I found out these two books are the same. Just this is only second half and that's the full book. So I will do the full book, of course. Means I have one book less, I thought, on Czerny. And coffee will help. So let's create. Actually, I didn't set. I should set like 1 hour a day. Yes, and remind me at 6. That's fine. Continue. And I will create. What's this? Czerny. Czerny, and it's Opus 299. Opus 299. And yips. Let's start this. So the first one is a famous, I think many people have played this one. So I will make a break because I did like 40 minutes, I think. I did, 41 minutes of this book. I'm at book 3. There are how many books? So 21 pieces. Yeah, they're a bit more exhausting than the one I just did before. Book 4. Probably at the half of it. Yeah, that's more what I think. Yeah, some half of it, 20 and there are 40 etudes. And today I did a bit over an hour 10 or something. An hour 20 actually. So I think that's, yeah, we'll still maybe do a bit tonight and then I think that's it. We'll eat for today and I will continue tomorrow. Let's see. So I'm actually a bit tired of playing piano today because I did nothing the days before. I did 1.5 hours now. But actually I really like the Czerny, so I'm a bit motivated to continue reading it. It's just that I like moving my fingers, I like having the sound of the piano, I like the sound of Czerny, I like the feeling of a mechanic working, and that's actually why I do piano. If you don't have this, it's a bad sign, by the way. So, let's keep going with this etude here. So I finished this book. Look how it's finishing. It's really nice, like it's a bit more technical. I needed 1 hour 30 for this book. Oh, and I'm really tired, like 2 hours of Czerny in one day when you're not used to do this. It's quite, it's a bit heavy. But it's also because you sight read all the time. It's a very hard concentration exercise. Like your brain gets tired and you want to sleep after this kind of 2 hours sight reading with technical stuff. Plus it's always also you have to sight reading is difficult sometimes because of the fingerings. For example, just when you have all these scales like going like and then I improvise the fingers, of course. Which you do in sight reading, you just improvise things. But I try to see sometimes which fingering is written to try to do it. That's not so easy. So yeah, I think the rest I will do tomorrow. So one day I did like 2 hours, a bit over 2 hours. Let's see here. Yeah, I did a bit over 2 hours, the line of 2 hours there. Maybe I will do the same tomorrow. I'm curious if I will be able to finish it tomorrow, Friday. Not tomorrow, Friday I don't have so much time, but Saturday I could do, and then let's see a bit Sunday. So next book, next day, Czerny Opus 718, Studies for the Left Hand. It's actually a good thing. Mostly the left hand is a bit slower. Let's create. So. So it took me 26 minutes to do this left hand etudes, opus 718. So you can see I practice a bit today, but today I have a lot of lessons, so I'm not sure I will have possibility to practice a lot. I'm just thinking, there are nice stuff there, like these trills for the left hand. This kind of stuff, which, or you have these octaves here. This kind of etudes are actually quite interesting for the left hand and fun to play. I was just thinking, because yesterday I watched a video about social media, how bad it is for young people and how it may drop their concentration and socialization. And I just realized, well, doing 2 hours of sight reading is the opposite of social media, actually. And I even think like long format, like I'm doing of videos, actually, where you learn something, actually like the good thing. So I hope you people enjoy this and value it, because it's not like I'm trying to trick you into something and have your dopamine level go up. I'm trying to convince people that Czerny, Hano, sight reading, practicing are the good stuff to do, right? And I'm trying to do them myself, actually. So 2 hours of sight reading in a day is a very long concentration exercise, and it's a nice one because it's musical, it's helping your technique, you see a lot of patterns, you learn to read in different tonalities, also very important. Also, this book was super important for me because that's a book I never heard, so I don't know how it's sounding, which is for sight reading the best exercise, because, for example, the one before is the same, but then, for example, The Art of Dexterity, I know all the etudes, I know how they sound, so this will be a bit easier to sight read than a book you never saw, you just don't know how the next beat is sounding. You have to count, you have to trust 100% what you see. That's the best kind of sight reading you can do. So yes, these etudes for the left hand were less difficult than I thought, actually less difficult than this one, than the Opus 299. So I would put them second after the 5 fingers, and then there is this one on my iPad. Now I'm super excited to go to the Finger of Dexterity, Opus 740. I don't know where it's 699 written there. These are 50 etudes, the one I know the best because I heard them many times, as I explained before. My father had a recording made of this. Meanwhile, there are people actually recording this on CD. Forgot the names of this, I think Nuremberg, or there are nice recordings of these etudes on Spotify. They're really nice etudes. I'm super excited to play them. Some of them are even among my favorite pieces. For example, I think it's 25. With the long arpeggios, they're really nice. 24 is a really nice one, sounds really nice too. I know yeah, exactly, it's from the second part here. 26 is a really nice etude, and 27 also. So are my 2 favorites of this book, and then some are really quite fun too. Yeah, so this is like a bit more difficult, but since I know the etudes, I think it's easier to go through. It would just be like physically a bit tiring to play this, but I mostly can play them. And I think Rachmaninoff had this as book. He practiced this like every day or very often, something like this. I heard once something. Practice this. The first one I even practiced, so. So changing piano for the fun of the sound. So yesterday I managed to do 2 hours, although I had 6 lessons and a meeting. I squeezed them in between, and actually, since I really like to do the Czerny Études, it motivated me a bit. I will try today too, but I have a busy day. Doing sporting 1 hour with a friend, and I think I will do some Czerny a bit before to warm up. So I'm finishing, what is it again? I'm finishing the Art of Dexterity. Really love these etudes, they're really nice. Some are really fun. So today is day 4, so yesterday I did only 40 minutes because I had a lot of stuff to do Saturday, Sunday. Today I have a bit more time. I hope I can finish this book. It was a nice book to play, and then I have this crazy virtuoso exercise. Let's see this. So I'm done with the Art of Finger Dexterity, Opus 740. This took me 2 hours 43. It's quite long to play all these 50 etudes. They are my favorites actually. They are the most difficult from the series till now, but they are real etudes, and some of them are really great, or very funny, original. Like there's this octaves. For example, the kind of stuff like this that are quite funny. Or there's there's some, or the octaves one. They're challenging but fun. I find them quite fun to play. Now the last book is this Opus 365, School of Virtuosity, or Virtuoso, and this seems more like exercise in the form of an etude, because for example the first one is kind of scales, but it's not only scales, because you go down, it sounds like a bit more melodic. It scales in all kind of directions, and then you have repeat each 20 times. So there's always a repetition sign here, so you should do this 20 times. So this is clearly not an etude. You don't play this in a concert or something. This is more probably like a complicated Hanon in the form of an etude, a bit like more musical than Hanon. Let's see what this how long I need for this. So actually now you can see I have a series of Czerny I did. So I did Opus 737, this one, and then I'm finished with this. This will probably be quite long too. So this kind of stuff you really have to study actually to be able to do the right fingerings. So it's Monday. I did 2 hours these 3 days, and this day I did a bit less than 1 hour. So yesterday, Sunday, I managed to do 2 hours again. Actually, I'm coming only in the middle of this virtuoso book there, and honestly, it's a bit boring. I thought about doing a bit more yesterday evening, but because it's a bit boring, I was not so motivated. So I will start again. I did already 1 hour 40 for only half of the book. It's quite long. And yeah, it's all exercise that they are kind of musical, but also not really, and it's changing. Every part is changing. It's another tonality. It's actually a good exercise. It's challenging, but the fingering is always quite tricky there. You would need to study every single one, and yeah, it's not so fun. I actually then prefer to do exercise like Hanon, because there you don't have to concentrate all the time so much, and once you know them a bit, it's fine. It's quick to learn the Hanon exercise. This one is difficult like a piece, but doesn't sound like a piece, so you have the pros and cons. So yeah, I will try to finish it and then have a better opinion about it. I can show you a bit how this one goes, for example. Similar. By the way, in this book, I very often have the impression that Liszt might have done this, because there's a lot of stuff you find in his works. For example, in his Rhapsodies, you have this, and then you have this third glissando, which actually I cannot do. And then you have... So if you have practiced this stuff in your youth, of course, and you can do it, and it's just easy, then you put this in your music. Yeah, finished all Czerny. I mean, all what I have from Czerny. So it took me a good amount of time. So the last one, it took me 3 hours 12. So that's the longest, the one that took me the longest because of all these fingering, sight reading things. And now if I had to put them by order of difficulty, I would say Opus 777 is the easiest for 5 fingers. Then is the Opus 6036, La Petite Vélocité, I would say. The left hand actually is not such a difficult either. I think it's the Opus 718. The Czerny Opus 299 is maybe a bit boring, this one. It took me 1 hour and a half. And then School of Dexterity, that's a long one, 2 hours 43. But actually that's the most, the one I like the most musical one, but it's a difficult one. And then the one I like the least is the last one I just did. Took me 3 hours, but that's actually just more exercise, like I said. It's actually a very good sight reading exercise. If you want to sight read exercise, you could do like one little excerpt every day and think about the fingers, repeating until you get the fingerings correctly. And I think there you can learn a lot of stuff, but doing it in sight reading or just like this is not so fun. So now let's see. So today I did a bit over an hour, 1 hour and a half. Let's see now how the Chopin Études goes. I feel I have more stronger fingers and I can push it, which I could not do some days ago. I felt like I was limited and I had really to focus to try to control my fingers. So there, actually, it's a good drill actually to do all these Czerny etudes. I think if you would do them every day, it would get even better. Now, let's see how my sight reading goes. So we have Fa, Do, Sol, Ré, La, Fa, Do, Sol, Ré, La, Mi. So only Si. So I don't know, you can tell me if you think it's better. I don't remember how I was reading this last week. I have the feeling I'm a bit less scared actually, just because I had to find out so many notes for the last days that I'm less scared of making a mistake, and then I go a bit forward, even if it's wrong, I don't care so much. So it sounds a bit more musical, I have the feeling. But I was just struggling with the sharp. I should really put this tonality in my head before I start. So yeah, in summary, it's like the Hano challenge I did. It, of course, in 6 days, it cannot change everything. It cannot be like a mind-blowing change. I knew it, but it's just to test it, right? And I had someone, by the way, commenting on this on the Hano, although I said in the video, yeah, I know it's not day and night and 6 days is very short. Still had someone who commented like, yeah, what an idiot. In 6 days, of course, it will not make a huge difference. Well, I'm saying it again now, right? Treat me as an idiot if you want. Yeah, so I think there's definitely a change, and again, what I want to show also is like it's possible to do. Like now, my sight reading is quite good, and my technique is also quite good. So of course, if you don't have this level, you take more time to get there. But I did this kind of challenge when I was younger, and my sight reading wasn't less good, and that's how you get better with sight reading. Reading a lot of stuff, doing this regularly, doing it again and again, not worrying too much if you don't get it right directly. It's just like not being scared and do stuff, right? And having this read all the Czerny etudes. I would probably do the same with Mozart sonatas and Haydn sonatas and Beethoven sonatas, because I have done this in the past many times, and that's actually quite fun. And I get better with sight reading and understanding the music, playing different music afterwards when I do this kind of stuff. Also, sometimes reading composer I never heard about and music I never listened to. It's also something I'm doing sometimes, a bit less because it's a bit more challenging than the one you know. Yeah, so I think it's worth doing it. As I said, Czerny has a bad reputation, and I know a lot of people will say it's useless, you better practice Beethoven sonatas. I again disagree. Doing both is much more better than doing just Beethoven sonatas for sure. And there are fun Czerny etudes, there are less fun Czerny etudes. Sometimes you just have to do the stuff that are not so fun, it's also good. Sometimes you have to do the stuff that are fun, that's good too, of course. And yeah, the more you do, the better it is. And hope you enjoy the video. See you next video then.